Good morning, good afternoon, Carolyn. Good to see you. That's correct. Let's just check that's coming through. Good, Carolyn. That's great. All right. Just going to give folks 30 seconds or so to sign on in. So we're a few of us are hopefully here together. It's a quiet Monday to start the session, and we've got a bit of a similar day to Friday when we were waiting for Trump's meeting with Putin. We're now waiting for Trump's meeting with NATO and European leaders. Hey, Brett. Good morning, good afternoon, good to see you. Big day for Europe today. All right, let's get stuck in. So at the moment, the major driver really in the market is the fact that the Fed's expected to cut interest rates in September. Now, we've got Jackson Hole Symposium at the end of this week. And what's going to be really important is what Powell communicates. We've seen a big slowdown in the US labor market with that non-farm payroll miss and prior revision lower. So markets reprice Fed rate cuts on the back of that weak labor market. Since then, we've seen
US President Trump is just posting on Truth. On geopolitical footing, he does note they will only see the return of the remaining hostages when Hamas is confronted and destroyed. The sooner this takes place, the better the chance of success will be. Remember, he was the one who negotiated and got hundreds of hostages freed and released into Israel. He was the one who ended 6 wars in just 6 months. Just making you aware here, Trump is just posting on Truth regarding they will only see the return of the remaining hostages when Hamas is confronted and destroyed. The sooner this takes place, the better the chances of success will be.
Just saying, Ryan, we've got a very similar day to Friday. Friday, we're waiting for Putin to meet with Trump. Today, we're waiting for Trump to meet with Zelensky, European leaders coming towards the tail end of the European session. So the meeting starts like 5 o'clock and goes on to 6, 7, 8 o'clock UK time. So it's into the US afternoon. So the big sort of major driver is the Fed's expected to cut interest rates in September. Now, on Friday, we had a mixed data point. We had inflation still ticking up higher. We had like some prices paid components showing that they were falling, a little bit of weakness in employment index. So the big picture is, labor market slowing, domestic spending from US households still remaining firm, sentiment indicators starting to drop, worse conditions expected, labor hiring expected to fall, prices expected to fall. So which way do you go? So that's what's going to be the big decider on Friday. Does Powell stick to the sort of slightly dovish script he's been leaning towards? Or does he say, hang on, inflation's higher than we thought. We need to, think carefully before cutting interest rates. If so, there'll be a big repricing, and that could move markets strongly at the end of this week. Until then, we haven't really got a whole lot to work with. Although we do have some independent kind of data points that are going to be worth looking at as we go through the session. So today, very quiet. There isn't really anything. We just got that Zelensky meeting with Trump and European leaders. Canadian CPI, that will be interesting for the CAD coming up on Tuesday. Wednesday, got loan prime rate out of China, UK inflation. So that'll be interesting for the pound. Remember the last Bank of England interest rate meeting? It was expected to be a 7-2 vote split, ended up being 5-4. So there was that slightly hawkish repricing in the pound. So the best opportunity for the Wednesday CPI will come if this surprises to the downside. So if inflation surprises to the downside, look for the pound to fall sharply. So that'd be very nice for Euro pound upside. Otherwise, if it's very high, then even more interest rate cuts will be priced out for the pound, and you see the pound carry on up, Euro pound lower. So that's worth looking at for the pound on Wednesday. Thursday got some PMIs for Japan and European PMIs coming up, flash ones, so that can move the euro. S&P PMIs for US, again, that will be an interesting day. 245 just after the open. That'll be worth looking at, so we probably get a good trading opportunity out of that on Thursday. And then Powell speaking at Jackson Hole on Friday. We've got a bit more UK retail sales data out and Japanese inflation. So there's a few bits and bobs this week. It's sort of busier than last week. But the main pricing at the moment is Fed's expected to cut interest rates in September, so markets are pro-risk. Equity futures off the lows for the day, volatility pushing lower, China's up, European stocks off the worst levels for the day. So we were sort of leaning risk off, with currency space leaning risk on at the start of the session. We're now sort of going a little bit more risk positive as we come into the Monday morning. The bid into bonds has just sort of pared back a little bit. Seeing US Treasuries, there was a bid into bonds at the start. That's just pared back. Commodity markets, gold going higher on the sort of mixed geopolitical picture. Silver tracking higher. Copper, iron ore falling lower on that risk-off sentiment. Same with WTI and Brent crude. Also the dollar being a bit stronger. You can see here that's just been weighing on commodities. But not a whole lot to really move markets. In terms of what I'm up to trading-wise, maintaining silver longs.
And just one to be aware of here from Trump on Truth, just regarding later today, he does note it's a big day at the White House. They've never had so many European leaders here at one time. A great honour for America. Let's see what the results will be. Just a reminder, we have got a News Corp preview of the meeting later today, available on the headline feed.
So that's gold markets. Now, if there's no deal done tonight, gold will break out higher. If there is a positive deal done today, and it looks like there's going to be some kind of security protocol in Europe that satisfies Ukraine, and Ukraine is happy to concede some territory concessions, and there's a sort of a NATO style security agreement, then okay, then gold could easily break out of this level and for drops in gold. That's definitely worth being aware of. No deal, then gold can easily break out higher. So we'll have to see. And if there's no deal, you expect stocks to keep moving lower. If there is a deal, you expect stocks to push higher in the session. So that's really what we're up to. I'm just going to check for any speakers that we got today. Anyone else? Got Bowman at 5:45 UK. Obviously that meeting in the White House with European leaders begins at 5 UK.
US and Ukraine. Ukraine President Zelensky is meeting with US envoy Kellogg in Washington.
The price sort of moving up to that VWAP now, very key area. Looking at the 15-minute chart, you see that market has opened imbalanced. So the balance from Friday, we've opened imbalanced to the downside, and now we're testing that balance at the start of the session. So we're at a really crucial area, testing the VWAP. We've got the most amount of buyers in the European session that have just come into the market here over the last sort of few minutes. So in testing an important value area on the hourly chart, we've got this developed value area from last week. So we're opening up inside last week's value area. We're underneath last week's point of control. We're trying to push above the developing point of control from this week. And we can see here that some buyers passively are trapping some of these sellers here. But we're only going so far as with these buyers trapped here and these buyers got trapped there. So we've had sellers break through, there's trapped buyers, and now we've got a little bit of selling at this area. So this point of control area is going to be important. The delta is negative to start the session. So we are looking at a negative delta as we get going. Just going to duplicate this tab so then we can go back to the 15. So this will be an interesting close, and particularly I'm looking at these buyers here. If you get those buyers trapped, then that could be a good quick short down to the 6462 at the open. Definitely want to be looking at. And looking at the implied volatility levels, see 6407 is the low, 6535 is the high. So 6407 worth just marking on the chart. If we get down there, that's definitely an important area to be looking at. It's quite some way down though. Just pop that on there for a reference point for later. Okay, folks, so not a lot going on. We've got sellers trying to trap buyers here at this level. It's going to be a very important level. If you get underneath that level, then it's looking at some sellers coming in, looking for a pullback before the open, see if you can move down to the standard deviation. That would be quite nice, but it would involve these buyers getting trapped here before the open. So worth looking at a couple of minutes time. I'm going to just go and watch this, and then if it closes underneath, I'll probably look for shorts. Otherwise, I'll go and grab myself a cup of tea and be back for the open. Folks, see you in a bit. Buyers trying to come in now, trying to take out that level on the tick chart. Just see if they've managed to take it out. This is a crucial little area. Right, so they've managed to take that out there. So that tells you they want to go higher. So we're trying to go higher now, trying to trap these sellers. And let's see if there's an area to get in on this. 5 minute. Right, so let's have a look. So Buyers trying to come in. Right, they've trapped all these sellers here. So now just looking for an opportunity on the tick chart to go long. See if you get some sellers against this level and see if you get them trapped. On balance volume pushing up. Delta trying to trap some sellers now. Right, buyers coming in. Right, sellers trapped going long. Okay, going to take another long here. On balance volume is moving higher. Okay, got to be careful here. Okay, this is a crucial little battle here. Need buyers to hold this. Right, VWAP being tested. You've got the 5 minute, they've trapped them on the 5, so that should hold. Let's see. The 15 minute, trap these guys, let's see. VWAP still holding. Only just though. Okay, we'll be closing this out shortly. A lot of sellers came in there.
And ahead of today's meetings, WSJ's Norman does cite a source who does note the meeting in the US is more blame game than peace talk. The logic being that Russia made an offer via Trump it knows Ukraine can't accept in relation to the withdrawal from territories. But this does place Russia in a position in Trump's mind of being constructive and now does place the onus on Ukraine's Zelensky. Again, the onus being on Zelensky isn't anything too surprising, as we do have a lot of focus on how that initial meeting between the US and Ukrainian leaders go, which is worth highlighting the latest take on it via WSJ's Norman.
Okay, now trying to get back above that VWAP. There's a lot of sellers that came in there. Buyers giving it a go to push it back the other side of the VWAP. One last crack at it. 15. Can the 15 trap these? Some sellers are trapped here, so the sellers are trapped, but not on the 15. Those ones, but some are. It's a bit of a mixed picture. I'm holding my longs. It is mixed.
It's just further from that thread with WSJ's Norman. So the source does highlight that nobody believes a peace agreement under such conditions is feasible, with the exception of the US president.
Some sellers just got trapped on the tick chart to the downside, but not on volume. Holding above the VWAP still. Delta is negative and building. About to jump out of this. I'm out of it. It's going the wrong way. Right, that's it. That's gone the wrong way. Delta building negatively now. Could get a deeper pullback with those sellers being trapped, but I want to wait with that cumulative delta negative. 15 trying to go underneath those sellers. Okay, I'll go short with this if I can. This is the momentum is going lower. If you get some buyers trapped. Clear rejection now of that VWAP. 5 minute trap some sellers, but 15 minute close, 1 minute 30 seconds. That's the case, I'm looking at shorting. Let's see what we get here. Tricky. We went for a 15 minute close.
The US president says he's totally convinced that if Russia raise their hands and says, we give up, we concede, we surrender, we will give Ukraine and the US, the most revered, and everything surrounding them for thousands of miles.
Right, so sellers trapped there.
So this is a post here from the US president, just to go verbatim, does state, totally convinced that if Russia raised their hands and said, quote, we give up, we concede, we surrender, we will give Ukraine and the great United States of America, most revered, respected and powerful countries ever, Moscow and St. Petersburg and everything surrounding it. And the fake news media would say this was a bad and humiliating day. So again, this is posted from the US president, doesn't face value appear to be on today's talks, but is just more of a dig at the media than anything pertinent.
On balance volume pushing higher, we're moving back up, trying to trap those sellers now. It's just wanting to go the other direction. Going to try another long here, because those 5 minute sellers were trapped. Let's just see if we can get a bit of momentum here. Okay, can add another position. Yeah, if we get above this, can add another position in. Now we're trying to break over those highs. Sellers trying to get trapped there. Got to be careful here. That's good. More sellers getting trapped. That's good. Still moving up.
So just as we have gone through the US cash open, just a spot check on where we stand. So indices did open range bound and in proximity to the unchanged mark in relatively light US specific news flow. Lack of data and Fed speak so far, as traders do await the upcoming geopolitical leaders meeting later today, which of course does follow on from the Trump-Putin summit we saw on Friday. Sectors see downside bias with energy being underperformer and weighed on buy weakness in the group complex, while tech is sitting towards the top of the pile. In terms of the stock-specific highlights, we did see updates out of Europe where Novo Nordisk's wegovy, the name higher in European trade by just over 5%.
As we push above those highs.
Accelerated approval, while Dayforce is posting gains of just over 28% after surging in talks that Thoma Bravo is said to be looking to acquire the name. It affects the dollar that's firmer, with the yen the laggard, as dollar yen is sitting towards highs. Treasuries do see slight gains across the curve, though in fairly contained ranges. Precious metals in the green, with spot silver outperforming its peer throughout the morning.
5-minute buyers trapping those sellers. So pull back, look for buyers. All right. So buyers trying to come in here now. The trap sellers here, then it's looking like the upside is ahead. Pants, that's it, I'm out. I think that's going to turn around as well. I've just got my maximum loss. I think that's going to turn around there. So watch out in case it does turn around. Failing it, getting back underneath that level, then it's another drop. Oh, that's annoying.